and welcome. You're watching FYI. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor. Now, just last week, we did a detailed episode on jobs and skills that are going to be in vogue in the post-pandemic world. Post-COVID, what are the kind of jobs which will be trending, where there'll be a demand, and what are the skill sets required to survive this world? Now, based on that, a lot of our viewers wrote into us and said that they wanted to know in detail about how exactly the recruiting or the hiring process is going to change post that. So today on Public Demand, we've got for you the top trends and predictions that are to be made when we talk about the hiring fraternity. Okay, so recruiting today looks radically different than it did just about a year ago, accelerated by COVID-19 and the movement for racial justice, changes that are expected to take years and are happening instead in months now. Virtually recruiting remote workers is the new norm for many. Internal mobility and upskilling programs are being built out as well, many for the first time. Diversity is finally being treated with the urgency and accountability that it always deserved. And to help you manage these changes and to get ahead with what's coming up next, LinkedIn actually made 6 bold predictions about the future of recruiting and hiring, what human resourcing will look like in 2021 and even afterwards. Now, these predictions are based on the survey of over 1,500 talent professionals and data points and in-depth interviews that talent leaders around the world have conducted. So let's throw out those predictions for you. Prediction number 1, recruiting will hire less, build and borrow more. That means a lot of work will be outsourced, for instance, and a lot of people internally inside the organization will be asked to build up capacity and fill in and double hat at times. Prediction number 2, recruiting will help keep the businesses accountable on diversity. Now, with the Black Lives Matter movement, with several people saying that their ratio at work, the sex ratio at work has to be looked at, and diversity all through will become central to how people are going to be recruiting. Prediction number 3, virtual recruiting is here to stay. So your interviews, which so far were happening online, well, that means the prediction so far is that that is not going to go anywhere, and even in the future, even when all of us, or most of us are vaccinating, and have got our antibodies up, virtual recruiting will not go anywhere. Prediction number 4, recruiters will lead the transition to remote work. A lot of organizations, remember, in India as well, have already permanently sort of moved to a setup where they will be only going to office, say, once in 15 days, once in 20 days. And how is that going to work out? And this also prediction says that this is going to stay. Prediction number 5, your employer brand will hinge on empathy and actions. Now, no complaining on that front, but this actually tells you how recruiters and how HR professionals, how your company heads are going to be thinking in the post-pandemic world as well, all getting a little bit more humane than usual. And lastly, prediction number 6, it says recruiters will build new skills to align with the business. Now, this is an underlining prediction or survey result of sorts that we've seen across all boards that we saw in skills that will be required in the post-pandemic world in sort of companies, what they're looking for when they're recruiting people as well. So that is pretty much an underlining factor. In addition to these, according to LinkedIn latest future recruiting report, about 81% of the talent professionals agree that virtual recruiting will continue in the post-pandemic world as well, and about 70% say it will become the new standard. So what does that make you feel like? Is that making you feel relaxed, or what exactly should you do to prepare yourself for this sort of recruiting process?